I wanted to give you some comments on disruptive technology that we see coming and disruptive trends that we see in the technology market. But first of all, I wanted to look a little bit backwards and say, you know, what has already changed, what technology has already changed in the travel industry. So, you know, if you take the example of the internet and, you know, the mid-90s and the boom in the early 2000s, leisure travel has dramatically changed. And new channels have come onto the market in terms of EasyJet and low-cost airlines, which would not have existed without the internet, because they've cut out whole traditional distribution models. And just a fact for you, in the US today, 60% of all leisure travel is done entirely on the internet. So in Europe, that's 40%. In Asia, that's 20%. And we see those figures increasing at a dramatic rate. This concept of Moore's law of technology, connectivity, a thing we call Web 2.0, which I suspect even that statement is too technical for most people, multilingualism and this concept of social computing. So when you talk about Moore's law of technology, this is the concept that computing power within chips is doubling at the rate of every 18 months. Now, with that concept in mind, if you take a mobile phone, one of today's modern mobile phones, the computing power in that is the same as a mainframe 15 years ago. So when you look at modern technology and how that changes, let me give you some of the ideas that we see by 2030, well, if not even earlier. So within 10 years, we see battery life dramatically changing due to outside factors, but you know, the power industry in terms of in computing, we see a 6-month laptop battery within 5 to 10 years time frame. We see connectivity will be ubiquitous, i.e. everybody everywhere will be able to connect at any time of the day. And that's before 2030 we see that. So my second point around disruptive technology is connectivity. This concept of always on, you know, senior business people today have that already, but that's, you know, a very small percentage of the population of the planet. That concept is going at a highly accelerated rate with new technologies around WiMAX, so this wide area networking where you can have Wi-Fi access over 30 kilometers. That's already been tested, it's been experimented with, and it's being shown in rural computing scenarios in India and Africa. Access to technology. So with connectivity comes at the whole concept of access. In Cartagena, if you look online on Expedia, and you type in, you know, give me some hotels, it says there's 10 to 20 hotels. But actually in Cartagena, I'm informed, there's 4,500 hotels, and there's 90,000 bedrooms. Now, when they get access to technology, you can see the face of Cartagena changing. So the third point I wanted to make was around Web 2.0. And one of the questions I get asked mostly is, what is this? What is Web 2.0? Web 2.0 in the industry is the next internet, if you like. And it's software, we look at it as software as a service. So you have big enterprises who will run their own information technology. But with applications being out on the web, you'll get more access, more technology being hosted in the cloud, so to speak. So people won't need to invest so much in their own technology, but will have applications. And this is a revolution for the SME sector, the small and medium enterprise. This means real-time changes. You know, by the time I finish this speech, there'll be a new application, and there'll be a new way of doing it. And there'll be a new idea that might make the change. Within the next 5 to 10 years, because of the raw computing power that we see coming, we see language will disappear as a barrier. So let me give you an example of what I mean. I'll have a mobile phone, I can access the internet, I'm an English speaker, but I'm looking at a Dutch website as I'm going to Holland. That website will be able to be powered and represented in English for me on my mobile. What is social computing as it represented today is Facebook, this concept of Second Life, and YouTube, sharing of videos real time. So this is about, you know, how you package information for people in their second life. I don't know if you know this, but people are up to 5 times more susceptible to advertising in their second life than they are in their first life. But one of the problems that comes with Second Life and YouTube and others is this sharing concept enables much bigger comparisons and makes the marketplace far, far more competitive. So if you've got a video and you went on a good holiday, you share it, and people will want to go and have the same experience as yourself. But if you have a bad experience, that will be shared instantly too. So these are just some of the concepts that are put out there in terms of you know, how technology will disrupt and change the travel tourism industry.